we are going to be working on our yarn painting project, and you're going to start off with a piece of cardboard that's been cut out specifically for you. And this piece, you can see it looks nice and neat on the side. Over here we've got some writing. It's upcycled. So the first thing we're going to do is write our first and last name on the back, right? I'm just going to go ahead and put Miss Gwen, but make sure you're writing your first and last name in Sharpie so it's easy to find, easy to see. Okay, and then we're going to go back to the front here and we're going to sketch out our picture using some pencil. Okay, I am going to go ahead and pull up my reference photo right here. I'm just going to sketch this out onto my cardboard really quick. Okay, and I'm looking at all of the things. So I first see that I've got some kind of orange sky happening up here, roughly. Okay, it looks like the sun is not quite in the very center, a little bit over to the left a tiny bit, and it's right about here. Okay, and remember this can be kind of loosey-goosey because we're going to be adding stuff on top of it, so you don't have to get everything just like 100% totally, but you do want to get it pretty close. Okay, so I've got that. And then down here a little bit, I have kind of this mountain looking thing here. This, and it kind of comes down this way, maybe a little further. Okay, and then there's a little bit more of a mountain type thing right here, but my main focus is kind of going to be for the sky right up here. Okay, so I've gotten basically most of my things done. It shouldn't take a super long time. We're just getting the basic shapes so we know where things go. Okay, then I'm going to go ahead and get my next supply. So this is our very first step. This is what you're going to work on. This is your goal to definitely get done the first day before you move on to the next step. Okay, so I have my supplies. I have a cup of goop. It's kind of gross. It's definitely, the scientific name is snot. And then we are going to be using some little bits of yarn, and they are mostly sorted into bins of similar color. You can see a couple that we're not put in the exact right spot, but I'm going to go ahead, and I think I kind of want to start with my sun first. It depends on whatever you want to do with yours. It's totally up to you. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my little lid off of this right here. Okay, I'm going to get some yellow pieces for my sun. There's this golden color actually I think I like more. But I want to use a couple of different variations because it's going to add a little bit more interest to it as well. So I'll do a little bit of this yellow, this lighter yellow. And I'm going to do this kind of sunny, warm color of yellow. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and take my warmer yellow first, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to completely submerge this into the glue. Or not the glue, but the goop. It's different. Okay, now I've submerged it. I'm going to pick this up, and it looks gross and slimy. That side view angle looks kind of like this. Looks very gross and slimy. What I want to do, though, is I'm going to hold by the edge. I'm going to take my 2 fingers, and I'm going to kind of almost pinch and pull. You see all that extra that's coming off of there? Yeah. So we're getting all of that, and I'm going to wipe the extra inside of the cup. I'm going to flip this back over, and I'm just going to go ahead and get this end over here just to make sure that there's not an excessive amount of goop on here, because it makes it a lot harder to work with because it'll be too dry. And I'm just going to set this down here. Or not too dry, sorry. It'll be too, it'll have too much goop to it. It'll take forever to dry. There we go, that's what I was going for. Okay. And I'm going to swirl this in here this way. Okay, now I do want to make sure that this is fully covering in for this, so I am going to go ahead and kind of re-sculpt this. I'm going to start from the middle part, like this. And I think actually I'm going to add this yellow in here too, so I'm going to go ahead and dip this. Alright, I'm going to swipe the extra off of here, just like that. This side, and then there we go. I'll take a nice little swirl for myself. Okay, in Vincent van Gogh's artwork, which is what we are currently studying, he had a lot of texture and swirls in his skies, and so we want to kind of have a similar texture and swirl in our sky. Okay, so I've got this, and then I'm going to place it right here, and I'm going to check out my next color that I need. So I have this set up. I am going to kind of press this in. I think that looks like a pretty good setting. Now, I could go ahead and work on the red-orange color that I have up here. I could work on the purple color. It's totally up to you. I will say I think that it's helpful to start from one area and then work your way out. If you have like sections, sometimes it's hard to fit the yarn in between two pieces that you've already worked on. So I definitely feel like it's easier to work from like one direction over or one direction up or something like that. Okay, so I have these colors in here. I think I'm going to go ahead and start in on some of the color a little bit below and above. So I'm kind of working on surrounding my sun color that I have here. And I think I'm going to do a little bit of an orange tone. Let's see, so I have this one and this one. I think these are going to be some good colors. I'm going to add some of these. Take the smaller piece here first. Remember, we dip it into the goop and then we swipe the extra off. Just like this. Okay, I'm going to take this and I'm going to kind of work it around here. And then I'm going to take my longer piece here. And again, I want to make sure that my yarn is completely covered with the goop, but I don't want excessive amounts, right? So I want it to be fully covered. And we're only doing one piece at a time, so you don't want to let it just sit there and soak up the goop. You want to kind of work at it a little bit and then just work with one piece at a time. So I think I'm going to go around here a little with this double layer towards the bottom. Okay, and then I think I'm going to add in a little bit of red below it. Okay, so I have another little nice piece here. One of the things that's helpful to think about is that if you are working and you need some smaller pieces, it's easier to cut those pieces and have a few ready to go before you get your hands dirty in the goop. It's just a lot easier to work with. Okay, so I'm going to take a little bit of this red color and kind of put it towards the bottom here, because in my picture, you guys can see on the screen, it is very, very warm and pretty red down there, but then it gets a tiny bit lighter. So I have kind of almost like a hot pink color that I can use there. Okay. And I think this one might be good. So I'm going to take this color, fully submerging it. I'm swiping all of that extra goop off. Both sides. Okay, and then this is going to kind of come up here like this. And then if I want to add in a little bit of extra kind of swirl to it, I can, you know, so I can go ahead and take this and create a little bit of a swirl. Kind of like this. Okay, but you're going to do this for the rest of your picture. You're just working a few colors at a time. You want to make sure that you are managing your time wisely. as you're working through this, right? So don't go cut a bunch of yarn right before it's time to clean up, of course. And we want to make sure that we are covering as much cardboard as we can. So see this little space right here? I do want to try to make sure that that is covered. Kind of like when you're coloring and you're just making sure that there's no white space coming through. Kind of the same idea. Okay, so that's what it looks like as we're working on our project. You'll continue through your different colors, okay? And you of course want to make sure that you are keeping your goop inside of the cup. You're cleaning up well after yourself, and if I catch you doing, if you show me that you can't handle using this material, I will believe you the first time. So please make sure that you're acting responsibly with this. Happy art making!